Today, we're going to take a look at another horrible case with you on June 7th, 2021 at 10:05 p.m. when the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division received a distress call concerning a double homicide at a residence on island in South Carolina. Alex Murdaugh contacted 911, reporting the heartbreaking deaths of his 52-year-old wife, Margaret Murdaugh, and their 22-year-old son, Paul, at their family's expansive 1,770-acre hunting lodge known as the Moselle. Cell phone data analysis suggests that the killings occurred between 8:49 and 9:06 p.m. Law enforcement officers from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLED, arrived at the scene to find Alex visibly distraught near the kennels, where the bodies of his wife and youngest son lay. Both victims had suffered multiple gunshot wounds from different firearms. When questioned about a possible motive, Alex mentioned the threats his son Paul had been receiving, possibly stemming from a previous boating accident that had garnered unwanted attention and potentially made enemies for the family. The news of this tragedy sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community of Hampton, deeply unsettling its residents. Despite capturing national attention, it took over a year for authorities to make their first arrest. As the investigation unfolded, the central question haunting everyone was, who would want to harm Maggie and Paul, and for what reason? The circumstances surrounding the murders appeared perplexing, hinting at a deeper, more sinister plot.
This is a long story. My son was in a boat wreck a few months back. He's been getting threats.
Culminating in what the media dubbed one of the most sensational cases in South Carolina's legal annals. Richard Alexander Murdaugh, born into a prominent legal lineage on May 27, 1968, hailed from the esteemed Murdaugh family, a dynasty of lawyers who had wielded considerable influence in the South Carolina Lowcountry for over a century. For 3 generations, the Murdaughs had held sway as district attorneys of the 14th Judicial Circuit. Their legacy reached its zenith when Alex's great-grandfather, Randolph Murdaugh Sr., established the prestigious law firm Peters, Murdaugh, Parker, Ellsworth, and AMP, Diedrich PD. Over time, their influence grew to the extent that the Hamptons became synonymous with Murdaugh County. Alex endeavored to uphold his family's esteemed tradition, pursuing a law degree at the University of North Carolina, where he crossed paths with his future wife, Margaret Maggie Brandt. Their union in 1993 marked the continuation of a legacy. Alex joined the family firm, PMPD, specializing in personal injury law. The tragic boating accident involving Paul in 2019, which claimed the life of Mallory Beach, shed light on a pattern of suspicious deaths linked to the Murdaugh clan. Speculation swirled that these incidents were not mere accidents, but rather deliberate acts orchestrated to conceal dark secrets. The handling of Mallory's death further fueled suspicions, underscoring the Murdaughs' ability to manipulate the legal system to their advantage. The other teenagers didn't emerge unscathed either. Connor suffered a broken jaw, and Morgan's hand sustained serious injury. Connor dialed 911, and help arrived promptly. When the Beaufort County Deputy Sheriff appeared, he immediately noticed Anthony's distress. Anthony had attempted to rush past him to reach Paul, who was seen smiling. The police noted blood in the boat's main compartment and a significant hull split upon impact. All the teens, except Anthony, were heavily intoxicated. They were transported to the hospital for treatment, although Paul, with a blood alcohol level 3 times over the legal limit, adamantly refused. That night, Paul's father, Alex, tirelessly moved between hospital rooms, attempting to manage the situation. It took 8 days for the search party to locate Mallory's body. The coroner determined her cause of death as blunt force trauma to the head and drowning. Despite witnesses, including Paul's girlfriend Morgan, alleging Paul's recklessness at the wheel, he faced no charges initially, sparking rumors of preferential treatment due to his family's influence. In March 2019, the Murdaugh family faced a wrongful death lawsuit filed by Mallory's family. Allegations surfaced that Paul's mother, Maggie, was aware of Paul's intoxication and the involvement of Buster in procuring alcohol. However, Paul wasn't formally charged until April 18, 2019, on what would have been Mallory's 20th birthday. He faced 3 felonies but pleaded not guilty, only to pass away before his trial in what appeared to be an accidental death. This tragedy intertwined with another, that of Stephen Smith, an openly gay teenager found dead in 2015. Suspicions arose regarding Alex's son Buster's involvement, with claims of a cover-up. Despite the case being reopened in 2023, no suspects were identified. Another dark shadow loomed over the Murdaugh family with the death of Gloria Satterfield. Initially ruled as an accident, suspicions arose, leading to a criminal investigation and a subsequent lawsuit against Alex for alleged insurance fraud. The intricate web of scandals expanded with accusations of financial crimes, embezzlement, and staged incidents, culminating in Alex's arrest on charges of insurance fraud and conspiracy. Amidst the turmoil, Alex resigned from his family's law firm, signaling a dramatic downfall. Murdaugh exited rehab on October 14, 2021, only to face another arrest. He was charged with 2 felony counts of obtaining property by false pretenses. This arrest stemmed from an investigation into the misappropriation of investment payout from the wrongful death case of Gloria Satterfield. Alex was denied bond this time. This marked just the beginning of Alex Murdaugh's legal troubles. On November 18, 2021, he faced indictment on 27 counts of financial misconduct, accused of stealing money from clients, other lawyers, and the family of his late housekeeper. Further charges were brought against him on December 9, 2021, totaling 48 counts, including forgery, money laundering, computer crimes, breach of trust with fraudulent intent, and obtaining property by false pretenses. It was estimated that Murdaugh had stolen more than $6.2 million from his victims. The state's investigation into Murdaugh's business dealings unraveled more charges almost daily. By June 2022, the charges amounted to 81. By the time Alex was formally disbarred on July 13, 2022, he was facing 84 criminal charges and 11 lawsuits. Among those filing legal claims was the mother of 19-year-old Mallory Beach against the estate of Margaret and Paul Murdaugh. The gravity of these financial crimes raised suspicions about Murdaugh's character. Could he be concealing something even more sinister? Perhaps the murder of his wife and son? If so, what could have been his motive? The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, SLAD, revisited the double murder investigation, considering new information unearthed during their probe into Murdaugh's financial crimes. The Murdaugh family's hunting lodge estate witnessed the gruesome deaths. Paul and Maggie were found near the dog kennels, both shot multiple times. Alex claimed to have been napping before leaving to visit his ailing mother, only to return to the devastating scene. However, law enforcement scrutiny intensified as they sought a motive for such a heinous crime. Investigations unveiled a subpoena of Alex Murdaugh's finances by the state grand jury, related to an obstruction of justice probe linked to a fatal 2019 boat crash involving Paul Murdaugh. Fearing exposure of his financial wrongdoings, Alex orchestrated a plan to divert attention from his crimes, culminating in his arrest for the murders of his wife and son on July 14, 2022. Thus began the murder trial of Alec Murdaugh, once a prominent figure in South Carolina. Murdaugh faced charges of 2 counts of murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Prosecutors alleged that he had shot and killed his wife and son at close range using a shotgun and an air-style rifle, although the murder weapons were never recovered. Murdaugh's defense team countered, suggesting that the presence of 2 different weapons indicated the involvement of 2 shooters. During cross-examination, an expert witness conceded that alternative scenarios could explain the trajectory of the bullets. Ballistics analysis revealed that Maggie had been shot with a .300 blackout ammo from an air-style rifle, and investigators discovered a box of such ammunition on the Murdaugh family estate. State prosecutors argued that Murdaugh murdered his wife and son to elicit sympathy and divert attention from his financial crimes. Murdaugh's defense questioned the logic of this theory, questioning why he would shift focus to a murder investigation to avoid scrutiny of his financial misconduct. Evidence surfaced during the trial, including footage from Paul's phone, recorded minutes before the murders, placing Murdaugh in the vicinity. Voice analysis confirmed the presence of Murdaugh, Maggie, and Paul in the recording, contradicting Murdaugh's earlier claims of not being at the scene. On the stand, Murdaugh admitted to lying about his alibi, attributing it to paranoia induced by opioid addiction. Prosecutors presented evidence of Murdaugh's attempts to establish an alibi through calls and texts from Maggie's phone after the murders. Additionally, data from Murdaugh's phone suggested attempts to hide or dispose of evidence. Ultimately, the video recorded by Paul provided decisive evidence, leading to Murdaugh's conviction on all counts. He received 2 consecutive life sentences without parole, plus additional time for weapons possession. Despite pleading guilty to financial crimes, Murdaugh maintains his innocence in the murder of his wife and son. Following his conviction, Murdaugh filed an appeal, alleging jury tampering by a court clerk, Rebecca Hill. A hearing is pending to address these allegations, alongside appeals related to financial and drug crime charges and pending lawsuits. Thus, Murdaugh's legal saga continues, ensuring that his story remains in the public eye.
Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by the darker side of human nature and intrigued by the mysteries surrounding crime and murder, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest chilling cases and gripping investigations. Remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction, and there's always more to uncover. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.